everyone! Welcome back to Real English Talks, your go-to English podcast for real-life conversations that help you speak better, more confidently, and more naturally. I'm Anna.
And I'm Ben. Whether you're brushing up on your speaking skills or just starting out, we're here to make sure every episode helps you grow your confidence and fluency.
In today's episode, we're diving into one of the most common topics in everyday English: how to describe your daily routine.
You'll learn how to talk about your morning, classes, meals, and even how to share what you did during the day.
Let's get started. Ben, how do you usually start your mornings?
Honestly, Anna, my mornings are a bit chaotic. My alarm goes off at 7:30, but I usually hit snooze a couple of times. Sometimes I don't get out of bed until 8.
That's not too bad. Do you have to be somewhere early?
Not really. I work from home most days, so I don't have to commute. But I always feel like I'm rushing. I get up, brush my teeth, and then I make coffee. That's the most important part for me, coffee.
Coffee is essential. I like to have mine after I shower. I usually wake up around 6:30. I like to have a bit of quiet time before the day gets busy.
Wow, 6:30. That's impressive. What do you do with your quiet time?
I usually start with some stretching or a bit of yoga, just 10 or 15 minutes. It helps me feel awake and relaxed. Then I make a cup of tea and read a few pages of a book or write in my journal.
That sounds so peaceful. I wish I could do that, but I always feel like I'm running late. I barely have time to eat breakfast most days.
Maybe you could try waking up just 10 minutes earlier. You don't have to change everything at once. Even a small change can make a difference.
Maybe. I like the idea of having a bit of time to myself in the morning, but I'm not sure I can give up those extra minutes of sleep.
I get it. Sleep is important too. But sometimes a calm start can make the whole day feel better. What do you usually have for breakfast?
Honestly, sometimes I just grab a banana or a granola bar. If I have more time, I'll make toast or oatmeal. But usually, it's something quick.
I like oatmeal too. I usually make it with some fruit and nuts. It keeps me full until lunch. Do you eat breakfast at your desk?
Yeah, most days. I check my emails while I eat. I know it's not the best habit, but it saves time.
I try to avoid screens in the morning, at least until after breakfast. I find it helps me stay calm, but I know everyone's different.
I admire your discipline. I feel like my mornings are just about getting through the basics. Maybe I should try to make them more enjoyable.
You could start small. Maybe just take 5 minutes to sit with your coffee and look out the window. No phone, no computer. Just a little pause before the day starts.
That sounds nice. I might try that tomorrow. Do you ever have days when your routine gets messed up?
Of course. Sometimes I oversleep, or I have an early meeting and have to rush, but I try not to let it ruin my day. I just do what I can and start again the next day.
That's a good attitude. I tend to get frustrated when things don't go as planned. Maybe I need to be more flexible.
Flexibility is important. Routines are helpful, but life isn't always predictable. The key is to have a structure, but not to be too hard on yourself if things change.
I like that. So after your quiet time and breakfast, what's next?
I usually take a shower, get dressed, and then make a to-do list for the day. I find that writing down my tasks helps me stay focused.
I've tried making to-do lists, but I always forget to look at them. Maybe I need to keep it simple. Just 3 things I want to get done.
That's a great idea. Sometimes long lists can be overwhelming. I usually pick my top 3 priorities and then add a few smaller tasks if I have time.
I'll try that. Maybe it will help me feel less scattered. Do you ever meditate in the morning?
Sometimes. If I have time, I'll do a short meditation, just 5 minutes of breathing. It helps me feel centered, but I don't do it every day.
I've heard meditation is good for stress. Maybe I should give it a try. I get anxious sometimes, especially if I have a busy day ahead.
It can help. There are lots of apps with short guided meditations. You don't have to sit for a long time. Even a few minutes can make a difference.
I'll look into that. So, do you listen to music or podcasts in the morning?
Sometimes I listen to soft music while I get ready. If I'm feeling tired, I'll put on something upbeat. I save podcasts for my commute or walks, like this one.
I usually put on the news while I make coffee, but sometimes it makes me feel stressed before the day even starts.
Maybe try music instead, or just enjoy the quiet. The news will still be there later.
Good point. I think I need to rethink my mornings. I want to feel more relaxed, not rushed.
It's all about finding what works for you. There's no perfect routine, just small changes that make your day better.
Thanks, Anna. I appreciate your advice. Maybe tomorrow I'll wake up a little earlier and try to enjoy my coffee without any screens.
That sounds like a great start. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay. Just try again the next day. Welcome back, everyone. If you're just joining us, Ben and I have been talking about our morning routines and how they set the tone for the rest of the day.
Yeah, and honestly, I've already picked up a few ideas from you, Anna. I'm thinking about trying that gratitude journal you mentioned.
I'm glad to hear that. It's a small thing, but it really does help me focus on the positive, especially on days when I wake up feeling a bit off.
I think that's something a lot of people can relate to. Some mornings, I wake up and my mind is already racing with things I need to do or things I forgot to do the day before.
That's so common. I used to feel that way too. I'd wake up and immediately check my phone, and suddenly I'd be thinking about work emails or the news before I'd even gotten out of bed.
Exactly. And then it's like the day hasn't even started and I already feel behind.
That's why I try to keep my phone out of reach when I sleep. I use a regular alarm clock instead. It's a simple change, but it helps me avoid that instant stress.
I might have to try that. I always use my phone as an alarm, but then I end up scrolling for 20 minutes before I even get up.
It's such an easy habit to fall into. But if you can make your first few minutes of the day screen-free, it really does make a difference. Even just looking out the window or stretching for a minute can help you feel more present.
I like that idea. Maybe I'll put my phone on the other side of the room tonight. That way, I'll have to get up to turn off the alarm, and maybe I'll be less tempted to check messages right away.
That's a great strategy. And once you're up, you can decide what you want your first activity to be. It doesn't have to be anything big, just something that feels good to you.
Do you ever have days when you just don't want to do your routine at all? Like, you wake up and you're just not in the mood.
Absolutely. I think everyone has those days. Sometimes I wake up tired or grumpy, and the last thing I want to do is stretch or write in my journal. On those days, I try to be gentle with myself. Maybe I just make a cup of tea and sit quietly for a few minutes. The important thing is to listen to what you need, not to force yourself to do something just because it's part of your routine.
That's reassuring. I think I get stuck in this all-or-nothing mindset. If I can't do my whole routine perfectly, I just skip it altogether.
I used to be like that too, but I realized that even doing one small thing can help. It's not about being perfect, it's about taking care of yourself in whatever way you can that day.
That makes sense. Maybe I'll try to focus on just one thing each morning instead of trying to do everything.
That's a great approach. And over time, you might find that you naturally add more things as you get used to the new habit.
Do you ever change your routine depending on the season or what's going on in your life?
Definitely. In the winter, I find it harder to get up early because it's so dark and cold. I might stay in bed a little longer or do a shorter yoga session. In the summer, I love opening the window and letting in the fresh air. Sometimes I'll even go for a quick walk before breakfast if the weather is nice.
I think I'm the same. When I'm really busy or stressed, I sometimes skip breakfast or forget to do anything relaxing in the morning. It's like my routine just disappears.
That's normal. Routines aren't supposed to be perfect. They're just a way to help us feel a bit more in control. If you miss a step, you can always pick it up again the next day.
I like that. I used to think if I missed one thing, the whole day was ruined. But now I'm trying to be more forgiving with myself.
That's a good approach. Sometimes I even change my routine on purpose. For example, if I feel bored, I'll try a new breakfast or walk a different route.
Do you ever add something completely new? Like a new habit?
Yes! Last month, I started writing down 3 things I'm grateful for every morning. It's a small thing, but it helps me start the day with a positive mindset.
I've heard about gratitude journals. Do you think it really makes a difference?
For me, yes. It doesn't fix everything, but it reminds me to notice the good things, even on tough days.
Maybe I'll try that. Sometimes I wake up and immediately think about all the things I have to do, and it stresses me out.
That's common. If you start with something simple and positive, it can set the tone for the rest of your day.
Do you ever plan your whole day in the morning, or just the first few hours?
I usually make a rough plan for the day, but I leave some space for surprises. If I plan every minute, I get stressed if things change.
That's smart. I think I try to plan too much, and then I get frustrated when I can't do it all.
Maybe try planning just your top priorities and let the rest be flexible. That way, you can feel accomplished even if you don't finish everything.
I'll give that a shot. Do you ever talk to anyone in the morning, or do you prefer quiet?
I like a bit of quiet at first, but I'll text my family or call a friend if I have time. Sometimes just saying good morning to someone makes me feel more connected.
I usually don't talk to anyone until I start work. Maybe I should try reaching out to someone, even just a quick message.
It can help, especially if you're feeling a bit lonely or anxious. Even a short message can make a difference.
Thanks, Anna. I feel like I have a lot of ideas to try now. Maybe I'll start with the gratitude journal and see how it goes.
That's a great place to start. And remember, you don't have to do everything at once. Just pick one thing and see how it feels.
Good advice. I'll let you know how it goes next time.
I'm looking forward to hearing about it. And if you have any new tips, I'd love to hear them too.
Actually, I have a question for you. Do you ever use any apps or tools to help with your routine, like reminders or habit trackers?
Sometimes. I've tried a few habit tracker apps and they can be helpful, especially when I'm starting something new. But I try not to rely on them too much. I like to keep things simple, just a notebook and a pen most days.
I've tried using apps, but I always forget to check them after a week or two. Maybe I should go back to basics and just write things down.
That works for me. There's something about writing by hand that makes it feel more real. But everyone's different. Some people love using their phones for everything.
True. I guess the important thing is to find what works for you, not just what everyone else is doing.
Exactly. And it's okay if your routine changes over time. Life changes, and so do our needs.
Do you ever include exercise in your morning routine, or do you prefer to do it later in the day?
I usually do a bit of stretching or yoga in the morning, but if I want a longer workout, I'll do it in the afternoon or evening. I find that I have more energy later in the day.
I'm the opposite. If I don't exercise in the morning, I probably won't do it at all. But it's hard to get motivated sometimes.
Maybe you could try something small, like a short walk or a few stretches. It doesn't have to be a full workout every day.
That's a good idea. I think I put too much pressure on myself to do a big workout, and then I end up doing nothing.
Start small and build up from there. Even 5 minutes is better than nothing.
Do you ever listen to anything while you're getting ready in the morning? Music, podcasts, audiobooks?
Sometimes I listen to soft music, especially if I'm feeling tired. If I'm in a good mood, I'll put on something more upbeat. I save podcasts for my commute or for walks, like this one.
I usually put on the news while I make coffee, but sometimes it makes me feel stressed before the day even starts.
Maybe try music instead, or just enjoy the quiet. The news will still be there later.
Good point. I think I need to rethink my mornings. I want to feel more relaxed, not rushed.
It's all about finding what works for you. There's no perfect routine, just small changes that make your day better.
Thanks, Anna. I appreciate your advice. Maybe tomorrow I'll wake up a little earlier and try to enjoy my coffee without any screens.
That sounds like a great start. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay. Just try again the next day.
Before we wrap up, do you have any final tips for listeners who want to improve their morning routines?
Sure. My biggest tip is to start small. Pick one thing you want to add or change and focus on that for a week or two. Don't try to change everything at once. And remember, it's okay if your routine isn't perfect. The goal is to make your mornings a little bit better, not to follow a strict set of rules.
That's great advice. I think a lot of people try to do too much and then get discouraged.
Exactly. And if you miss a day, don't worry about it. Just start again the next day. Progress is more important than perfection.
Thanks, Anna. I feel inspired to make some small changes, and I hope our listeners do too.
Me too. And if anyone listening has their own tips or routines, we'd love to hear from you. You can send us a message or leave a comment.
That's right. We always enjoy hearing from our listeners. And if you have any questions or topics you want us to cover in future episodes, let us know.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope you have a great morning, no matter what your routine looks like.
See you next time on Real English Talks.